Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody is doing well. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so that you can be notified when I go live or upload a new video. And please like this video. Let's get us up to 10,000 subscribers so we can have the giveaway.
Same way all the time. So with no money, I damn near got a bank account. Y'all want to see my bank account? It's at zero. But I'm a hero. You don't believe it? My bank account at zero. Look, I'm gonna show you. This is my bank account, y'all. My name is Eligio. Hello, Eligio.
Eligio.
And this is my bank account, nigga. I'm trying to tell you, I don't have any money. Nigga, this is my bank account. Hello, Eligio. Bank of America. Nigga, this is my bank account. Play with God. I don't want your money. I don't need your money. This is my bank account, nigga. Hello, Eligio. Bank. I don't have no money. I don't need it. That's my bank account right now.
That's a guy.
Yeah, I'm coming, my baby.
That's a guy. Yeah.
Well, that is a negative. Now, did you see the look on their face when he said that he doesn't have any money? They look nervous. Even Efru, she was like, mm-hmm. So, do we really think that he doesn't have any money, or is he just saying that? I mean, he's not showing us his Cash App or his PayPal. I mean, that could be an old account that he's got there. We don't know. That way maybe some of his little fan base, which it doesn't seem like it's many people left on this fan base, because people are figuring him out, thankfully. Maybe hoping one of them will send him some money. But, you know, could this be why he could be allegedly getting evicted? And we don't know for sure if he does. You know, like I've said in the previous video, that if he is getting evicted, for one thing, is it because of non-payment of rent, or is it because of the what's going on with the neighbors? I think it has to do a little bit of both. I don't think he's just purposely not paying his rent. I think he could probably be paying his rent, but then since he could be getting evicted, maybe he just figured that he'll stop paying it and then just try to prolong the eviction as long as he can. I'm not sure if he has done that or if he's thinking about doing that, but that is, you know, a possibility, something that could drag out. I mean, that would be an owner's worst nightmare, you know? I mean, what if he does go and he files bankruptcy, or, you know, and then prolongs the eviction? You could prolong an eviction. I mean, one of them could file bankruptcy, and then when all that's said and done, the next one could go file for bankruptcy, because the landlord's probably not aware of how many people's living there. The landlord is probably not aware of their names, their legal names, so that would make it harder to try to evict people. But I would say once you file for a bankruptcy, that stops everything. And then once that goes through, the next person who lives there could go and file bankruptcy. But, you know, depending on the Georgia laws. It also really depends on if he's a month-to-month tenant and if he is, or even if it's like a year lease. His year lease is not up. So, because when I look back, I could tell from the videos that he's only been living in that house for 7 to 9 months. So, is he a month-to-month tenant, or is he did he sign a lease for 6 months? If he did, then the lease is expired. So the landlord would be required to give him a 60-day notice. Now, within that 60 days, what could happen is he'll wait out the 60 days, you know, and this is me thinking how he might do it because he has solar and True there with him to help him through all this stuff. And so he could very easily wait out the 60 days, and then the day before the 60 days expires, he could go and file bankruptcy. That would prolong it even longer. So now, what happens once he does the bankruptcy thing? What happens once the 60 days is up and now we are in full-blown eviction? Now, here's some of the steps that it takes. So the first thing that happens is a notice is posted. This notice is pretty much the notice that says, hey, you're violated the lease, or you did not pay your rent, and so you're being evicted. Now, when the landlord posts this is another way that a tenant could take advantage of a landlord, is by looking for any discrepancies in this notice, because if this notice is not done lawfully and there's any errors at all, the landlord will have to start all over again with the eviction process. So the next thing is, you know, on this notice, it's going to give the grounds for the eviction. So landlords in Georgia can begin the eviction process for several reasons: non-payment of rent, violation of lease terms, rental agreement. That means, you know, if a landlord, or no, if a tenant like has more people there than what's on the lease, or, and you know, and this is why Nature Boy could have been saying also that that when he was talking about how the guys all had their own house, and he lied about that because he didn't want his landlord to know that he had all those people piled into the garage. So I'm thinking that he probably found out and maybe he's getting evicted for the fact that he has so many people living there, and the fact that the neighbors continue to complain, that the police are always there. And I don't think his rent was an issue. I mean, it could have been. We just don't know. I think that he did stop paying his rent, if he's even been being evicted. I'm sure he's not paying it now. So in Georgia laws, the landlords are not required to allow the tenant to correct a lease violation in these instances, but must provide tenants with a written or verbal notice prior to beginning an eviction action. Typical lease violations under these categories include damaging the rental property, having too many people residing in the rental unit, and having a pet when there's a no pet policy. Illegal activities, other criminal acts. So how much time must be given in the notice is not specified at the state level. However, if the tenant remains on the property after the notice period expires, the landlord may proceed with the eviction process. So I'm thinking that what this means is that by law, if you're getting evicted due to lease violation, they probably don't even have to give you much of a notice. They can go probably within a few days and file for the eviction notice. But I think they do have to give you a timeline, but it's up to the landlord discretion, and that's what I'm thinking. So in the state of Georgia, if tenants hold over or stay in the rental unit after the rental term has expired, then the landlord must give tenants notice before evicting them. This can include tenants without a prior lease and week-to-week and month-to-month tenants. So like I said, he's not been living there he's been living there maybe about 7 or 8 months, 9 the most. So if he signed a 6-month lease and that 6-month lease is already expired, then he's month by month. So then they would be required, I believe, to still give the 60-day notice. So often this type of eviction applies to tenants who are at the end of their lease and the landlord doesn't want to renew. Regardless of the length or type of tenancy, landlords are required to give all at-will tenants at least 60-day prior notice to beginning or before beginning an eviction. So if the tenant remains on the property after the notice period expires, the landlord may proceed with eviction. So if he violated his lease and he had a 6-month lease and it had already expired and he's now living month to month, which is what I'm assuming is going on, I'm going to assume that the landlord had to give him a 60-day notice, because all at-will tenants, no matter who you are, no matter whether it's non-payment of rent, that means all tenants at will. If you're somebody that violated the lease, you're somebody that follows in that 60-day notice. So he's thinking, okay, I got 60 days to do what I want to do. Maybe he knows that he can file bankruptcy at the end of that 60 days. Maybe he doesn't, but we'll see. If he stays there longer than the 60 days, before he gets the formal eviction from the court, then we'll find out. So let's see. The next thing is, after the end of that 60 days, if the tenant still remains, the complaint is filed and served. So if he's smart, he'll be out before the 60 days. But if he chooses to stay and be what they call a squatter or whatever, then they will file a complaint with the court. Once a complaint is filed with the court, he will have 7 days to give an answer. Now, if he doesn't give an answer, the eviction is going to go pretty quick after that. But if he gives an answer, then the eviction will take longer. So if he does answer the complaint, like I said, that does prolong the eviction. But once everything's done on that, the hearing is held and judgment is issued. If granted, right of possession is posted, possession of property is returned to the landlord. So I believe it's after the hearing is held and judgment issued, then I believe that 7 days later the right of possession is posted, if I'm not mistaken. So either way, at the end of the day, while we might be happy that, maybe some justice can be served, maybe he doesn't have a place to sit and do what he wants to do. And maybe in doing this, and maybe if he's not there, then some of the women may decide to leave. I mean, I doubt it, but I guess that's the most we can hope for. But on the downside of that, there's a child, that's still involved. What's going to happen to him? He can't, I don't think he would be happy in a RV, you know what I'm saying, I don't believe that he would be happy in an RV. So, and how would Nature Boy afford that? If he's saying that he's broke and doesn't have money, how is he going to afford 2 RVs? This is what I'm saying. I don't think that man is fully broke. I think he's got a little cash put away. I think he was pretty smart with his cash when he was getting it in, because he was getting in quite a bit. He did do a lot of trips. We do know that. But I don't think that he just blew it all away. Because if that was the case, he wouldn't be able to get the RVs. And so I'm not even sure where this eviction is coming from. And believe me, I don't doubt it at all. I know the neighbors are pretty upset with him. And the police are probably upset with him. I'm sure he's feeling like that he needs to, get away at this point, because every time the police start closing in on him, we know that he runs to the next place. So it's just a matter of time. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Is he going to use these 60 days or longer if he prolongs this eviction? And he can, if he really wanted to. He could probably prolong it for up to 6 months if he wanted to. But is he going to use this time to save the money for the RV, or it's hard saying. Leave in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys know. Does he have a 12-month lease? Is it a 6-month lease? Is it expired? Is it month to month? Do you think that he was given 60 days? Do you think that the eviction is going to happen pretty quick? You know, as far as I could tell, they haven't really started doing any packing, so that we know of. So let me know what you guys think.